Hi guys, Jared here with Day Traders FX. Hopefully you guys have had a great week so far. We've had a lot of crazy, wild market activity today, and let's have a look at it. You can see that we are in the post US session hours here. You can see that the Dow really loved the European news today. Closed 245 points up. 30 points in the S&P. That's huge, huge, and huge. However, we did not see too much in the way of some of the currencies to kind of echo this, and we're going to look at that. But just kind of keep that in mind. So big days and everything. Gold went up just a little bit. It did break 1700. Oil flat and even closing a little bit down. As far as news goes this morning, we just got bombarded with endless amounts of news. UK news, interest rate asset program, US or Euro news, interest rate, kind of the warm up for non-farm payroll, press conference from the ECB, ISM, blah blah blah. Now we have trade balance. This is going to be a big mover for the Aussie dollar, so keep an eye on that. It's just endless amounts of news today. It's been like kind of a dry week, all week of news, and then we get just pummeled with it this morning. And coming into tomorrow, we have some more pretty big news. Couple of the manufacturing production for the UK is not a huge one. The PPI as well. Those aren't major movers. They can a little bit, but they're typically not huge movers. And then we have employment numbers for Canada. That can make things scoot quite well. And then we have employment numbers for the U.S. Non-farm payroll. That makes things move pretty well. So we have another huge morning. The whole week has been kind of announcement-less, and then we have this just crazy amount of news coming out tomorrow, and just lots of things to look at. So anyways, just be ready for all of that. Remember, we'll have a live session for everybody to join in on tomorrow morning for non-farm payroll, so keep an eye on the email for that for more details. Okay, so here's what the euro dollar has been up to. We had big news today, and the euro crashed down, and it bounced all the way back up, and now it's just consolidating. And where is it consolidating? Well, it's consolidating at this kind of double, triple top area. It seems to be having a really hard time just below 126, kind of 30, 40, 50 area. Our highs here, I think our highs did reach 126.50. In fact, that's crazy that that candle made it exactly to 126.51. So 126.50 is kind of our level to look at here. We got to get above that, and if we do, we should be able to take this euro into next resistance, which is the 50% fib, the big rundown of this level, and also recent resistance of the month of June, which is around 127.50. So again, it should give us about a 100 pip run. There's a lot of interesting ideas. Once again, the crowds are short euro dollar. That typically means that the euro dollar is going to go the opposite way, but I've seen a lot of analysts that are pretty confident that the euro dollar is going to continue down as well. If September continues to be kind of the month that it is for stocks, which is pretty negative, then the euro dollar should go down, as should the pound dollar and the Aussie dollar and so on. But I think we might have something a little bit different here. You can see that this daily candle right here was a big rejection of this kind of 12500 area. You can see our low on this was just below 12500, about 124.98. Big price rejection right there on the daily chart. I personally think this euro is headed higher, and if it does, I'm targeting 127.50. That will be dependent mostly upon breaking this high at 126.50. We've got to get above 126.50. If we do, hello 127.50. Otherwise, it's obviously not making a very strong case for making that movement up, and it's struggling quite a bit right here. Otherwise, if that doesn't end up happening, we're going to be looking for some short-term trend lines and some short-term breakouts. But remember, this thing has been doing a very good job, euro dollar, at bouncing off of the 200-day moving average, daily pivots, and so on. I don't see a really great sell opportunity unless we sell against the highs here, against that 126.50, and short it immediately and trade it on down and take a chance of the 20 pips there, which I think is a fair chance. At this point, it's kind of a 50-50 mark, but I really think that this euro dollar is going to break 126.50, and above 126.50 again we target 12700, 127.50. So just keep that in mind. Pound dollar has done pretty well. The pound dollar also looks like it's supposed to start coming down, but I don't know if it's going to. The pound dollar, again, same kind of deal. Big price rejection here at 158.50. It made a little push below that and then just said no thanks, and bounced off of that 158.50. a pretty major amount actually. And now we're going to get a big close above this high right here, which is 159.12. This has been all the talk of the neighborhood kind of level. Super important one, great one to keep an eye on. Just a goodie to watch. So as we kind of crawl up this trend line and now we break this resistance, which is also the 61.8 from this large range here, I think the pound dollar gets opened up for some further upside as well. Now beyond this, we don't have any major fib levels, we don't have any major resistance at all until we get up into 160, almost 16300, which I'm not necessarily targeting, but I think we should have, a run nicely into 160, good round, good old 160, and that gives us 60, 70 pips to work with. So the play on this would be, again, get this back down into the lower 15900s, like 15900, 159.10, and buy it off that level, and take it up into that 160. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Otherwise, I think if we get below where this daily pivot was and where the market really had a hard time, which was just below about 15900, we started to struggle there a little bit. And then we had our daily pivot here, which is 158.85. Somewhere below that area, I think things get a little bit interesting. Also watch for, pin bars, anything like that up there. But if we start getting back below about 158, 80, 85, then I think we have a decent chance of running down into the 200-day moving average, running down into the trend line, all of that. But it's a little bit wait and see because remember, we have non-farm payroll, and that's a tricky son of a gun, so we got to keep an eye on that. So, a couple of things to watch for and look for is all of this stuff right here. Now, remember, Euro-Yen, we've been watching this Euro-Yen non-stop. We have been watching this thing to death and looking for this channel, which is 9,800, 9,900 to break. And we actually got into a trade as it broke this morning, this 9,900, and traded it up and grabbed some nice little pips out of it. Now, the question is, will this be able to continue? And again, as you can see, we had big consolidation above 9,900. It's sitting at about 99.60. It topped out at about 99. Where was our high here? We had 99.80. So I'm looking for still a little bit of retracement. I think we're going to get this thing trading back down towards the 99.30-ish area, and from there I like a long with stops below 9,900. I think we've got a good chance to take this pair right on up again. Of course, we have non-farm payroll, not expecting huge moves before that, but I think we could get some nice entries, and I think this Euro-Yen is worth paying a lot of attention to. It gave us a very nice run, and I think it's going to be able to continue giving us a pretty nice run and a pretty nice move. So keep an eye on that. Aussie dollar, we talked a little bit about this in the daily video, just kind of how we were reaching the 100-day moving average and the 38% fib, and this was definitely coming into some support. Nice little double bottom right there, and it gave us a good bounce. So that Aussie dollar moved nicely. I am not doing anything with the Aussie dollar for the moment. You can see some little interesting trend lines are starting to form, and some things might happen, and we may be able to get some breaks and so on. It's looking a little bit reversal tacular up here, and remember, we're kind of right around this little area there. Tried to fill that gap, not quite, not quite able to get up there, but we're going to keep an eye on this high, and I think this level may be worth shorting off of. So we had a couple of attempts here, not able to get above that, so this might start heading back down for us. And just a quick look at gold. Gold broke above 1,700 nicely, came all the way up to actually about 1,713, and it's right back down again. But we have this nice big trend line here. So if this gets back below about 1,695, then that could start to trigger some downward movements on some of these other pairs. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Looking once again to buy on the break of 126.50 on euro dollar. Looking for a similar thing, buying on the dip of about 159. 10, 15 area on the pound dollar, buy on the dip on euro yen right around 99, 20, 30 area, and possibly selling on this rally with the Aussie dollar. So those are the things I'm going to pay the most attention to over the next several hours. But then again, remember we have non-farm payroll tomorrow morning, and that should get things moving once again. So keep an eye on that. I'll have more details coming out on Twitter, and we'll just see if we can make some pips out of this craziness. Thanks everyone. Best of luck. We'll see you in the chat.